Well, I'm recording now. Are you happy?
Yes, I'm happy.
Yeah,
Gosh.
you're happy.
Yeah, I'm
Fine.
happy.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Hey,
Gosh, Sean.
yo, everyone. This is JPL, and I'm joined with.
Christopher.
Yeah, we're podcast name in brackets. In
Dan
case you wanted to
brackets.
know. Yeah, shut up.
No, you. Gosh.
No. Where's my $15? Uh, yeah, we started talking about things and realized we should be recording.
I just wonder why John wasn't recording. That's all.
Reasons.
Oh,
Anyway.
I had a bad dream. I actually had a dream last night. Just real quick before I forget. Forbes or something called out our podcast. Like, did a whole article on our podcast saying it was bullcrap or something.
Who?
Forbes or something. I don't know.
Forbes.
Yeah, I saw the main photo was like the drawings of our faces that like freaked out and went to it. I think maybe in the dream it turned out it wasn't our podcast, but for some reason either it was our podcast or not. But if it was our podcast, they called out our podcast and said it was really dumb and stupid or whatever and pointless.
Did you look up and try to verify it?
Like it was I know it was a dream, but that's all I remember.
Sure. Yeah, what we were talking about is it's August officially now. So I woke up today. Being like, yeah, it's August. We're gonna get Andor at the end of the month.
That's real end of the month, gosh.
Like at the end, the 31st. Then I was surprised to be like, oh, we're getting a new trailer today. Cool. Trailer comes out, and we find out, oh yeah, the show is being pushed back 3 weeks to the 21st of September. And like, my heart just sank. I was like, what? I was so looking forward to this month. And now it's just dead. There's nothing to look forward to. She-Hulk. But it's not the same. It's not the same as Andor. And the Andor, also in December, supposedly we're supposed to get the Bad Batch, the 28th, the week later. But, are they going to push that back? We don't know. Let's hope not. But we were just talking how they really need to change their schedules and have episodes released not on the same day.
Because this would be She-Hulk, Bad Batch, and Andor all on Wednesdays, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like at the very least, I would think that at least Bad Batch and Andor would release on different days. At the very least.
Right. I mean,
but even so, still She-Hulk different day. Like, what? I don't understand what the strategy is.
Back a couple of years ago, we would get Clone Wars on Fridays and Loki's on Wednesdays.
Oh, really? Was it that?
Yeah, it was like that, and it was great. But then they decided, you know what? Wednesdays are for shows, Fridays are for movies. But then they never gave us any movies on Fridays.
Well, movies you're not interested in.
Yeah.
Here's if they wanted to experiment for a little bit of time, that's fine. But we've already did a run with Obi and Miss Marvel, and I know Miss Marvel isn't the best thing to test it with, but still, it's annoying. It's upsetting. Gosh, I don't know why anything.
Yeah, like instead of just looking forward to one day of the week, give us other days to look forward to. Like a proper TV network.
Yes.
Like the CW, when they had 5 shows going on at once, each show came out on a different day. They had a full week of shows. It was great.
They didn't have 5 shows playing same day, same time.
Could you imagine?
I don't. Oh, speaking of the CW, they've announced one last season for the Flash, I think.
Did they?
Yeah.
Good for them.
I get confused because it says Arrowverse. I'm like, I almost said the Arrow. I'm like, no. But yeah, so.
Well, yeah, good for them. They needed it. needs to be gone in general. It's just way past it's what it was. I'm old and bitter now.
Old and bitter.
But
John
anyway,
is old and
this
bitter.
month, at the end of this month, I can understand why they push back Andor. Within that same week span, like it would be competing against She-Hulk, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, the Lord of the Rings of Power show.
So that's crazy. 3 prequels. Star Wars, The Lord of the Rings, and Game of Thrones. It's crazy.
Crazy. So, like, honestly, that would be too much to compete against. And they're smart enough to, like, push it back a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But they're giving us an extra episode, so we'll have 3 episodes in the premiere.
Sorry, 3 episodes into premiere?
Yeah, 3.
Holy. Okay.
Well, apparently they're all written by the same person, so they're related somehow.
Well, but it's also a 4-part season, right?
It's 12 episodes.
But it's a 4-part season. 3 episodes represent a year, right?
No.
Not with Andor?
No, that's season 2.
Oh, I thought that was season 1.
No, season 1's gonna be like one whole year. Season 2 is gonna be different years.
Can't keep track of that.
Yeah, can't keep track of that. But that's that news for that. You know, it is what it is. Not much you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
You can try and hope, but what's the point? What's the point, Christopher?
I don't know, John. I think you have to create a point for yourself.
I don't have to.
You don't have to.
Anyway, how are you doing today, Christopher?
How am I doing? I had a hard time going to sleep last night, so I kind of just woke up-ish within the past hour. We're recording at like 2 for context for the peoples. I'm doing relatively fine. It's been this past month was just a bunch. I was saying up and downs, but I realized it's been a lot of downs. Then I stabilized, and then another down happened. So it's been a weird month for me, and I might be going through some life changes. I might not be. We'll see what happens. But I'm gonna shoot my shot at an opportunity, and we will see what will happen. So it's kind of been a time for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Fine. Let's see. Not much happened this week. A missionary family stayed at our house for a night. Nothing really special there. But anyway, in terms of like watching wise,
Yeah. What did you watch, John? Because I didn't watch anything.
okay. Well, last week the thing that I was excited for was that we got the documentary Light and Magic.
Oh, that released?
That released last Friday.
Okay, so I've been out of my Disney Plus account for the past week, so I haven't been able to see what's been on there. So I'm hoping to get back in today. So
cool. I do highly recommend that you would probably watch this.
Oh, I'm interested. I don't know when I'll get to it, but I'm interested.
But yeah, it's well done, pretty good. Goes over a good portion of the major events in the company. They kind of quickly glance over the 2000s, which I wish they would have shown more, because there's not a whole lot of talk about the 2000s. But you know,
we get them embarrassed.
No, they just talk about all the big stuff that are like major changes to the industry. Like Star Wars did this, and then they did the Terminator, and then Jurassic Park. but by the time we got to 2000s, like they were doing a lot to the point where today, something that was very interested that was noted was that today people can't be wowed by the special effects anymore.
Yeah.
So they have to work hard to just make it perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's not. Which is interesting. We're
That is an interesting
oversaturated
thought.
with it. Like even with the MCU, like they're heavy. There's a lot of work put into it, but there should clearly be more time as well put into it.
Yeah.
But you know, it's what it is. So it's a 6-part documentary. I'd highly recommend it. I watched one a day. So
it's good, John Pace, right there.
Actually, it was 2 a day.
2 a day. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a little overachiever.
I mean, I was just captivated by the story.
That's awesome.
It does get slow at times.
Uh-huh.
Especially, they take a long time in the first couple of episodes focused on the Star Wars. Because again, that was very important. But like, I know all that information beforehand.
So how long was each episode? 30 minutes, an hour?
It was an hour each.
An hour each. Okay.
Yeah. It's a good. Yeah. Average, they roll about the same length, about an hour.
Okay.
So I would highly recommend it. To
Cool.
Not just you, but to just anyone in general. Like, even if you don't know much about VFX, just check it out.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Let's see. In terms of movies, I watched the next Harry Potter one.
Number
6.
6.
This one and the next one are my least favorite ones. Because they're slow. Let's see. And then, of course, yesterday, we started our Barbie podcast.
Yay!
So we watched our first Barbie movie.
And how was that?
It was interesting. The episode should be out by now.
Okay.
Go listen to that. But yeah, this is something.
How are you feeling about your something?
See, I paid money for this. I rented the film.
That's amazing.
Like I could do it, RR.
RR.
I started it. But then of course the RR, the quality was just bad.
There's
I couldn't determine the animation, like the quality. So I just paid $4.
That's fair. I like there's some things that are not RR'd properly. Like my friend tried to watch the New Mutants and and also Logan. I think Logan, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. Yes. Both Logan and New Mutants, the audio quality were crap. So like sometimes the RRs aren't RR'd properly.
Yeah. That happens.
Yeah, so kind of hoping that the others will be RR'd properly.
For my sake?
Yes, for your sake.
Yeah, because we have 40 films.
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
$4 each.
Yeah.
That's at least $100 for Barbie. For Barbie.
Might as well just get you a set at this point.
Man, this is I mean, but no, it wasn't terrible.
Ooh, it wasn't terrible. Ooh.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine, okay? Don't judge me.
I'm not judging.
Anyway, so yeah, continuing Better Call Saul. There's 3 episodes left. and I have no idea what they're gonna do.
Mm.
Like, this is a great feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Because typically shows, like, you know what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna do. Because where we're at, I feel like the main story has been resolved.
Right.
So I don't know what's left for 3 whole episodes.
Well, it just with Marvel stuff, that wouldn't be a good sign. I guess Better Call Saul has always been pretty good and well written.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's really good.
Okay, because sometimes when it hits even well written shows, like the end of a show in last episode, kind of crap. You know, I feel like that's kind of been a trend.
But I trust these people because they've been nailing
Oh,
it. They've been nailing it for both Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
okay.
It's fantastic. Just from, they're probably the best shows ever made.
Mm.
Just for quality wise, filmmaking,
Mm-hmm.
production, they're the best. Whether or not you're interested in them, but
Mm-hmm.
I have had no real faults to give them.
Mm.
So neat. Yeah. Still continuing the X-Men thing slowly.
Mm.
Besides that, oh right, yeah, no, I finished season 10 of Walking Dead. So that's that. I'll probably have to get AMC Plus to just watch season 11.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I just want to be done with it. I don't want to have
Right.
to wait 2 years to get it on Netflix.
Yeah.
So
Understandable.
yeah. So HBO Max, my subscription will end this month after a whole year. So that's something.
Sad John.
Yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying it, but with the Disney Plus stuff coming, I've got my schedule full with their stuff.
Right.
So I can take a bit of a break and then eventually get back to Hulu.
Oh, speaking of Hulu and Netflix, the original Maguire Spider-Man trilogy are on both Netflix and Hulu.
Cool.
But I just find that crazy. Like both Netflix and Hulu. I feel like that's almost ironic.
But not the full trilogy.
The full trilogy.
I don't know about Netflix.
Go fact check me, John.
I am fact checking you. Oh, it is there.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. Now we just need Amazing Spider-Man 2 on here.
I know, right?
And then we'll be complete.
But what blows me away is the fact that it's on both. I like Netflix. Okay, I kind of saw that coming with Amazing Spider-Man there. You know what I mean? But both Netflix and Hulu. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
imagine if this was 5 years ago. You know what I mean? But even today, that's like, what's going on? And then why is it Hulu and not Disney Plus? Like, is this more NBC have the rights over Disney for the moment, or is Disney just playing dumb? I guess maybe Disney doesn't want to put it on Hulu until they know they have the rights to it, like long term. Sorry, Disney Plus. Because would they want to put on Disney Plus for like 2 months and then have to take it off again until 2 more years? They probably want to put on Disney Plus when they know they have it long term.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I'll get my Hulu discount for Black Friday. I'll be able to finish Smallville.
Oh. I'm surprised you don't just want to finish that or something.
It's on Hulu. I don't have Hulu. I don't
But
want to.
we were just talking about what's that show? Walking Dead, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want to wait 2 years.
Yeah, but the thing about Walking Dead is I'm more interested in see this final season
Okay,
than go to Smallville for 3 seasons.
kind of fair.
So, technically 4. Yeah, there's more to watch for Smallville versus I can watch the Walking Dead stuff in the free trial. So I don't need to worry. Even still, I don't know why AMC needs their own streaming service.
Everybody needs their own streaming service right now, John.
It's just like cable all over again.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
It is so wonderful.
I might as well start my own streaming service. I'm not going to have anything on it, but see how much money I can make. Who knows? Yeah.
I bet it's a lot.
No, it technically does me with Patreon. I'm not going to lie.
It's going to be more money than I make.
Ooh. Oh, you haven't talked about our podcast apps for a while. How are we doing? The people listening?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
No idea?
I haven't really looked at it.
Okay. Was there anything else you watched?
That was the main thing.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just what I've been doing. Just biding my time.
Mm-hmm.
For what? I don't know. But that's what I'm doing. Anyway, I sent you a clip. I don't know if you saw it. About Iron Fist and fighting.
Oh, was it about Iron Fist? I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's obvious I didn't look at it.
Well, that's fine. But like, this was just an example of how the editing really hurts the fighting. For this one example, this is a 30-second fight. You know, Iron Fist are well-trained, quote-unquote, well-trained character against just a sub-level goon. 30-second fight with 56 cuts in it.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Let me watch it. I think that is one issue with just like kind of like modern films is like they rely a lot on editing, not enough on stunts.
Right. I mean, this one was the show in general was just tragedy for stunts. Because again, they learned choreography 15 minutes before shooting.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
So, but even still, like 56 cuts for 30 seconds was never going to be a win for them.
Mm-hmm.
Did they need that many cuts? I don't think they did, but again, I wasn't there.
Well, I mean, if you didn't know the choreography, maybe you did.
Even still, there are some fights where the choreography is actually good, but then they're cutting a lot. Mortal Kombat is a good example of that, where there's a fantastic fight, but it's cut to heck. And it's so sad, because the people who are fighting are fantastic fighters in real life. But it's a travesty. But yeah, that was that. Now, last week I had talked about wanting to take a look at poster designs for Marvel.
And so, what's kind of the like the heart soul purpose of this again?
Huh?
Because a lot of the posters in general, like a lot of people have noticed, do look very similar as it relates to the whole of the MCU. So like, what is it that you kind of want?
I don't know, just want to look at it chronologically.
Okay. The link you sent isn't chronological per se.
No, but like a good MCU fan knows the order.
Okay, fine. Gosh.
What? You don't know the order?
No, I know the order. Just
Wow.
didn't want to think about it in order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My computer do be slow right now. That was also a hard thing actually watching the clip you sent because my computer is just slow, so it didn't make anything.
You didn't need to watch it. I was just explaining it to you.
Oh. Sorry, John. I never get the memo.
Well then, now you got it.
But what I find interesting, just like posters in general, is like there are so many posters that are released for a movie. But we're looking at like just the popular theatrical posters.
Yeah, these are the ones that are mainly the main one that they advertise the most.
Mm-hmm. So there's been some really cool posters that haven't been the main posters.
Yeah, they are better in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, are you on the link?
Yeah, I'm on the link.
Right. So let's go down to Iron Man. Started it all. To describe it, you have Iron Man on one side and all the other characters on the other side.
Yes.
I think for the most part it does a good job. Like, we know what the central figure is. It's Iron Man.
Growing up in LA during the promotions of Iron Man, it's always been a very iconic promotional memory because we had billboards and promotional material for Iron Man everywhere. So
yeah. So, for specifically, we want to know it's a movie about Iron Man. The central focus is, of course, Iron Man. I think they did a good job with this first design here.
Mm-hmm.
The other, like the villains and side characters, they're less of a focus, but they're still featured a bit there.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly, you look at this template, and it's a template for everything else later on. Just central figure and floating heads.
Mm-hmm. Do you hate the floating head trend?
Depends on how they use it.
That's fair. I've kind of been indifferent to it. I didn't necessarily notice it until people were pointing it out. But it's not like now that I notice it, I'm like, oh, interesting. But it's also never been like something that I've been like so pressed about. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. So the next poster would be for the Incredible Hulk.
That one's interesting. I kind of like this one. Almost like tells a story in the poster.
It does a great job at telling you what this is.
Like the struggle between being human and the struggle of being the Hulk.
Yeah, describing the poster, we have Bruce Banner, who's looking all sad and he's staring at the ground. It's like, oh, woe is me. Behind him, just looking away from the camera, is the Hulk. So you see this duality. You don't really see the antagonist. It's Hulk and Banner.
Mm-hmm.
I would personally like it if they had a little bit more green on the Hulk.
Yeah,
a little bit brighter.
It's a really dark poster, and that honestly makes me not like the poster. If I'm being straight honest.
Framing wise, it's all great, but like color wise, it's kind of dull. It doesn't really stand out as much. Whereas you look at the Iron Man poster, like that red and gold stands out so well. Your eyes are drawn straight to it.
Well, even just the blue atmosphere, which works with the arc reactor.
Right. Blue and red are like two colors you're going to see a lot.
There's too much blue on the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
And it makes for a very conflicting look.
a more downtrodden film.
Which I'm fine with the downtrodden, but it's too dark.
It is too dark.
Color wise, it's too dark. You can still have a dark poster, but make things a little more clear.
Right. And then moving on to Iron Man 2. This one can get a little bit messy. But it's Iron Man. You can clearly see Iron Man.
Okay, I will say, it for me who had only seen essentially these kind of images until 21, I was really confused. Seeing War Patriot, because I thought the concept of the movie was him warring against either himself or a clone, or I obviously didn't really know it was his friend, or and even that side plot was kind of minor in the movie. It's kind of like when I look back at it, I don't know how I feel about it.
This poster is still very similar to the first one. The main difference that distinguishes this is that you have Whiplash with the explosion right there in the frame in the center.
I think that's kind of cool.
That really helps you just make a difference. Plus War Machine, he's not in the first one, so I guess you get a little bit of a difference there. But yeah, still blue, but it's broken up by the explosion, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
So then scroll down further, you get Thor, which is, again, your main two colors are blue and red. I really like it. The red of his cape really pops out.
Mm-hmm. I wish it kind of popped out more, though.
Yeah, color-wise, it's really dull looking, but it tells you what it is. It's Thor.
I kind of do prefer the colors of this over Hulk, though.
Yeah, this works better. Yeah, the color scheme does match the setting that Thor was in during that film.
Mm-hmm.
So it works. You have the floating heads divided by borders here.
Which is relatively unique in comparison to, like, the other Marvel posters.
Right, but it's still uncreative. Like, they didn't even try to just be creative
true.
how they integrate it. It's like, we'll just put borders. Put a little glow effect so it doesn't look like a border. But yeah, I don't love this poster, but it does its job of saying that this is Thor.
I guess, like, it wasn't necessarily that much of a story to tell, because they're like, Thor is the grab of it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
With Hulk is like, we just had a Hulk movie, so like, what more is there to do to essentially retell / reboot? But yeah, this, like, it gets the job done. I do feel like the heads in the background are a little big / awkward.
They're a bit awkward.
And then also, especially Heimdall, especially in this movie, or honestly all the movies he's in, he's just kind of there. Like, I don't even think he's in the second. No, he is. Is he? I don't know. I'd have to enlarge it. But
we'll talk about the second poster when we get there, because that's like, something.
He has, like, never had, like, a prominent role in, like, the movies, period. You know what I mean? Which is kind of crazy if you think about, the fact that they got an actor like him. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But yeah, so I feel like it was kind of more on the poster just to say, we got this guy, but he really doesn't play that much of a role in the movie, sadly.
Yeah. Then we get to Captain America: The First Avenger.
I don't remember seeing this poster ever.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember, but it's very interesting. So instead of having it be the blue, because Captain America's costume is blue. Instead, he's covered by explosions, red and orange, but it makes his shield and his color pop out more.
Might be just me because I've never seen this poster before, but I don't love it. I don't know. Like the pose Captain America's in is just a little awkward. The people behind him just feel a little crowded behind him. One or two of the actors in the background aren't even that important of characters.
I do, but I actually do kind of like this way it's framed.
I do like the way
it looks like they're in a squad, like a war squad together.
Here's I see that and I can relatively appreciate that. I do feel like it is a little squished, but however, Captain America just looks so much like an odd piece.
Sure. And you got that giant red skull head staring in the background.
Not super in love with that. It kind of works, but not like...
I mean, it matches the background color scheme nicely.
It does.
That's that poster. Then we finally get the Avengers. One of the most iconic posters in Marvel at the time, especially.
I really like how detailed this poster is. Like you could just like look in the background and just like look at it, you know?
I don't know.
Like the background is kind of cool, you know?
I don't like the way the characters are all positioned. I don't know what it is. It's just doesn't look right.
I guess also for me, because I've seen this poster so many times, it's hard to be critical. Right. But like I remember one time, like I actually stopped to look at the poster and like, wow, there's some detail in the background that I never noticed. So I was just kind of wowed by that.
Mm-hmm. It's also like the poster itself is trying to depict them all together in this one space, but they don't look like they fit the space. They all half of them look like they belong at a different space.
Like the sizes are like odd.
They're yeah. The sizes are odd. The distance doesn't really work for some of them. Some of the color doesn't pop as well. Again, blue is really taking over here. But yeah, that's interesting. Iron Man 3 was the next film, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. This is one where there are other posters that I remember the most for this than what's shown here. That I remember being better than this. Because what we see here is just Iron Man with his broken up armor being held by, he's holding on to Pepper, and then stuff in the background.
I always thought that the armor thing was just super confusing to me. Because it almost looks like Iron Patriot's armor. Yeah,
especially in this poster, they look very similar. I do like that here his armor is being beaten up, which is the state of his character in this film.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite poster for this film is Tony staring in his like workshop with all the different suits there.
Yeah.
There's another one that looks like he just came out of the water and he's in debris, and he's all broken up there. Yeah, that's the other one that I remember the most. I think that one does a better example of showing the film than what this one has.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would have been the teaser poster. This is like the official theater poster. But yeah, there's a bunch of posters for these films. It could get hard to keep track.
yeah.
But this is not the one that I really care for. But then we have Thor: The Dark World, which is a really ugly poster.
But at least it's a little more consistent in color scheme than the previous one, in my opinion.
It's just all blue.
Well,
It's just so bland.
here's the thing. I never liked the color scheme of the Iron Man 3 poster, so kind of to some degree I kind of am okay with this, you know?
It's so bad. Like the original Thor, his cape popped out more.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a contrast in this. Here, the cape is blending in with the blue more.
That is true.
And like, there's not much different here to signify this is a sequel. Here's what makes it different. There's nothing here. Like, sure, you have that transparent floating head of the elf.
Yeah, it's just as transparent as he is in the movie.
Yeah. Otherwise, it could look like it's the first film.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, it's not a great poster because it doesn't really tell me what this film is. Even though this film in general is just not great, but still. What a poster!
Yeah, like as you hit the bottom, like the background starts to turn more yellowish, and maybe that would have been more interesting if they like pulled that contrast a little more.
Yeah.
Especially you see above, you see like the fire streaks coming down from above. So if like those colors had a little more pop.
Yeah. But like to just contrast how like the colors for this Thor poster just makes everything look dull. Plus, like there's not much different here to make you think it's a sequel. The next one we have is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Again, this poster itself, it's covered in blue, but you can tell it's a sequel because again, Captain America's costume is different.
I did feel like this poster was a little too oversaturated in its blue.
It is oversaturated, but you can tell it's a different film from the first. Because the first one, you have the reds that pop out. Here, it's just drowning in blue.
Yeah.
So you can tell it's a different film.
But still, you'd like the shield to pop out a little more.
You would.
Like, even the shield at a different angle, at the very least.
It really should pop out. But, it is what it is. So then we get Guardians of the Galaxy, where we have a little bit more color and style. But it's still a lot of blue. But you got more color to pierce through the blue.
Well, so like the blasts, like they pop out more than they did on Thor: The Dark World, and then you have Gamora drowning in green, and that adds more, and then you have more like a purplish haze behind them, which stands out way better than the previous 3 posters in terms of color scheme.
Yeah, I like this poster. It just, I don't know what it is. It just looks nice.
Yeah, I would agree. This is a pretty solid poster.
see, that's 2014. So then we then going to 2015 with
Ultron.
yeah, Ultron. Which is a bit of, I don't know about this one.
It's kind of chaotic.
It's very chaotic.
It's weird how central it is because you see your Avengers,
Yeah.
but also so chaotic. Which, I mean, you could argue matches the tone of the last fight, but also isn't necessarily necessary for a poster.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, you could zoom in and be like, oh, you see Wanda over there, but you would never noticed her if you didn't zoom in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ultron is just not a central focus in this specific poster.
Yeah, that's true.
Although, I think I remember there being a different poster for this one as well.
I'm really curious what other posters look like. I'm looking that up.
Surprisingly, this is the main one. I'm not seeing any others.
Oh, well, on Disney Plus, there's the version of this poster, but you kind of see more like Ultron's head in the background.
Yeah.
Like, that brings a better focus to like Ultron than this
Right.
poster. So at least that one is slightly better.
But this one being sent to theaters, it's just, it doesn't really do much to change the fact that this is a sequel, except of course the first one is so iconic, how spread out the characters are. Here they're all together, but I think there should be more focus of Ultron in this poster here.
Yeah.
He's the title character.
Mm-hmm.
He's the main threat.
Yeah, like in the Avengers, Loki wasn't in the name of it, so who cares if he was on the poster to a degree? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But this one, yeah, that's his name.
Yeah.
Where is that?
The next one is Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
They really like their blues with this one, but his red really strikes out through this.
Playing up Ant-Man. Yeah, the red really pops.
But besides that, I don't really know what else that really stands out with this poster.
I guess just the red.
Just the red.
Just the red.
What does this tell me about Ant-Man? I don't know. He's got this costume.
I mean, really, what do any of these posters tell you about the character?
I mean, they could have some ants there.
They could, but they don't.
Is that a mound of ants right there? I don't know.
That's it. Well, I mean, they're like, oh, his name is Ant-Man. No, you know you might have an idea now.
Mm-hmm.
So
then the next one is Civil War?
yes.
Civil. Not silver.
Silver.
I like this poster.
Me too. This is definitely one of the more unique posters.
It's so unique. It tells you exactly what it is. It's a civil war. You have characters on one side, characters on another side. They're both depicted by different colors. It's really neat. Although I do wish that the red could stand out a little bit more.
Yeah, I would agree.
But generally speaking, like, this is a nice change of pace than what we have been getting, which is just your standalone character, or you have this group shot. That are not very specific.
You know what? Now I want someone to ruin it by making a floating head version of Civil War.
I'm sure there is.
I'm sure there is. I just haven't seen one, you know?
Mm.
Maybe I'm dumb, but maybe I'm not.
Well, let me look it up. I'm not seeing anything official, but there you go. But we're followed by Doctor Strange. Which, I think the blue color scheme is not great here. Because it doesn't make him stand out. You have the circle, which draws your eye, but his blue costume kind of blends in with the blue swirly background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess that was kind of their thought, their focus. Bring your attention to the swirly thing, and that would give you an idea of the character.
Yeah. Overall, it's like the way it's set up, it's not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You have weird looking stuff that fits Doctor Strange. He's the center of the screen. Let's see. 2016. And then what came next? That would be Guardians 2, I think.
Yes.
Now,
again, hot color scheme.
I love the colors, however, I don't like the framing of how the characters are, because it just looks the same as the first one, except for the color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Ego, which should probably be more prominent here.
Wait, he's in this?
No, but he should be.
Oh.
Just to have a little bit more difference. Like, sure, you have Nebula, Mantis, and what's his face? But they're like small in the background. Yondu. If you have Ego, bigger
I feel
here.
like Ego would almost be reduced to a floating head in the background.
Sure. I like the colors here more than the first one. But again, the color is really the only thing that's signifying that this is a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Just by glancing.
I think there's an element where you want to establish recognizability.
Right.
So, but the colors are different enough where you can recognize that.
Mm-hmm. Next one is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
What I hate about the Sony Spider-Man movies is that we never have consistent posters. Like, at least with the general relative MCU posters, like, they look relatively consistent. And, I know a lot of people complain about the formula with the MCU, but especially with the recent outings of Doctor Strange and Thor, I think we're realizing that, honestly, its formula is its biggest strength. You have to be creative within that formula. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, that translates with the posters. Despite the fact that, yeah, maybe you're tired of the formula, there is a way to be creative within the formula. But when you completely break from it, aka the Spider-Man posters, they look so odd in the mix.
This one does look odd because Spider-Man is his movie, yet he looks in the background. Iron Man is in the foreground of all these characters, which is he's not supposed to be. It's Spider-Man.
It's almost like they're trying too hard to emulate the first Iron Man poster.
They are. In fact, they are. Look at the framing. It's the same framing.
It really is.
But why is Tony on fire like that? What's he doing there? I don't know.
Yeah. It's also like, did they really think they weren't going to make money off this? It's Spider-Man, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like, it's Spider-Man is always going to bring in money.
Also, there's so many posters to this darn movie.
Yeah.
You have the one where Spider-Man, you have a better picture of Spider-Man swinging. We have that same Iron Man poster, but he's more in the background. You have the Spider-Man I remember. He's in the yellow jacket and he's sleeping,
Or laying down.
laying down.
That's probably the best one I've seen from what I remember.
Yeah, I mean, that works. This is just messy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really tell me Spider-Man or Homecoming at all. But then the next thing is Thor Ragnarok.
Yay.
We get so much color here.
Yeah, so much color.
But here we start getting into just the weird posability of mashing everything together.
Mm-hmm. But like, I almost like how like this is ordered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's quite unique. Because I feel like it's kind of just been a random mesh of like heads, but this is like almost like straight down.
Mm-hmm. This one's nice. Like the colors pop out. You go straight down. Like the characters shrink in size when you go down. It's great. It looks nice. Works out.
I do wish the Grandmaster wasn't where he is. Other than that, solid poster.
Why you don't like him in the center there?
It's a little weird. It's like you could kind of miss him, which is maybe kind of their point, but it's also like I would almost want to give him a little more prominence or
I
put him
didn't
in a
notice
different
he was
position.
there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you had Heimdall and Odin on one side and Grandmaster on the other. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Really conflicted about his presence on the poster.
Then our next one would be Black Panther. I'm not too crazy about this one here.
I like its blue tone a lot.
I like its tone. I like the deco design structure.
Yes.
But again, Black
It's
Panther
a very messy poster.
is not very prominent here.
Like, there are too many characters.
There are too many characters.
Especially considering half of them barely have that much of a presence slash I don't necessarily want to say they're not important, but not enough presence to signify importance, just like the Thor Dark World poster, where like we have Thor's friends in the corner while they're only probably in like 2 scenes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's similar to like this, where it's like there's a couple of characters where like for example, like T'Challa's girlfriend barely is in the movie, you know what I mean? But I think that's her on the poster. And it's like, you know,
She's got a big size there.
Yeah, she doesn't really affect the movie that much.
Yeah, I really like the poster of just T'Challa looking down at his claws. That tells me more of Black Panther's character. Here it's trying to sell that this is a big ensemble. Besides that, I don't look at this and think Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
I get what that character is. It's like, oh, Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
They're all Black Panther. Which leads us into Infinity War, which continues with what we got from Ragnarok and the weird poses with Iron Man with that T-pose.
I will say though,
it's big, it's a mess, but like I don't know.
It's a kind of cool mess. You know what I mean?
It is a cool mess. The colors are very nice.
Colors are very nice.
You get so many characters.
Like it's kind of just like a cool to like see all these characters on one poster.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's cool to see.
It's also very symmetrical, which is nice as well.
That is true. This is like odd. It oddly, for it being so messy, it oddly kind of works.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know we've been kind of critical about the a lot of characters on one poster thing, but this, I'm sorry, this kind of works.
Yeah. I mean, I think of Infinity War when looking at this. Like
That's
the colors.
true. Like you
have the
like
colors plus like how many characters are all there.
that was honestly the big sell of Infinity War because it's like it's everybody, and so like it does work because everybody's in the movie essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were only to have like the core Avengers or whatever, like that doesn't make this movie seem as big as it truly is.
Yeah. And like what, the next film was Captain Marvel?
No, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
It's Captain Marvel.
No, it's Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Captain Marvel.
No, Captain Marvel released the same year as End Game. Ant-Man and the Wasp released the same year as Infinity War.
Anyway, we're on to Ant-Man and the Wasp. This one has a better color scheme than the first. They're consistent with red and yellow.
Mm-hmm.
But the framing of the characters is kind of iffy.
Again, like there's a couple characters on here that I could kind of care less about them being on the poster.
But they make this unique by not utilizing the entire rectangle for the poster.
Mm-hmm.
They choose to stick to the diagonal strip that they got going on for the color.
Which is cool.
Which is cool.
I kind of wish it was just Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Like, and what? We actually have Michelle on the poster? I'm actually surprised. I don't know, because, like, for me, like, going into the movie, like, I had no idea what she looked like. So that was, like, a fun surprise, like, seeing her coming out of the quantum tunnel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she's only in for the last 5 minutes of the movie. So we put her on the poster. I guess she's a popular name enough to try to promote it, but it's a lot.
It could also be a thing where legally they had to show her face.
Maybe. I don't know. I guess also there are like so many conflicting interests in this movie that we have a little too many conflicting interests of heads. For example, we have that one guy who tries to run around with the building half the movie or whatever, and we have Ghost. It's just like kind of wish it was just Ghost if they were to include, the antagonist.
Yeah. So now we go on to Captain Marvel.
Yes. And this is relatively one of the more unique posters because it's one of the few posters where it's just the one character.
Sure. It's also kind of lame that it's just the one character.
I guess that I feel that was kind of like their big draw. It's like, Captain Marvel. That's all you need to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the red and blue color scheme is nice.
It is really cool.
Like, you clearly tell that this is the character, Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, I don't know.
If we were talking about, like, contractual obligations to show faces, I'm surprised that they didn't try to squeeze Samuel L. Jackson on the poster.
I mean, there could be another poster for this film.
I believe there are, but, like, this is, like, the one poster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some of these movies have, like, different posters. Like, I feel like the first Doctor Strange movie, we've seen a couple different posters of, that we could probably associate with that one. Like Captain Marvel, like this is like the one poster that they pushed hard.
Yeah. I also just don't really like this character, so.
I know you don't.
It's just bias.
I know there's bias inside it. Man, I was hoping that the Marvels would be decent, but the little bit I'm hearing already, we'll see.
So then we have Avengers End Game.
We've harped about the blue. I like how the blue takes a more purplish turn on this. So it makes for a very satisfying color.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wouldn't say that it's the best, but it's well done.
It's well done for what it is.
Again, it's not showing all the characters because again they're hiding the big reveal that they all come back.
Right. I feel like this poster is just like the movie. It gets the job done.
Yeah, that's really what it feels like. It's like they had to hide things, so it's just here's your poster.
Well, also, like,
it looks
we didn't
cool.
necessarily
but
want to have all those characters on the. Well, I mean, sorry, even if they did, which they wouldn't, but spoiled it, to have all those characters on the poster would be already too much. Like, this poster is already a lot as is.
yeah,
And also, despite this movie kind of being bigger to some degree, also presents the more smaller scale of the less characters.
mm-hmm. Which brings us to Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Which poster did they use for this page?
This one sucks.
This one.
It's so bad. It's so generic. You have Nick Fury, Spider-Man, and Mysterio. Just right there. Nothing here tells me Far From Home. Sure, you get the background.
But you're not looking at the background in first glance.
I know, but
no, that's why I'm saying I was agreeing with you.
Sure, but it's just so bland.
I've never hated the poster. It is bland, but it's also not like messy. You know what I mean?
Again, there's another poster way better. That's just Spider-Man's mask with like the different stickers from different countries.
That one's actually kind of cool.
That's cool. That's unique.
Yeah.
This is this.
Yeah.
I don't really know what this is. It's just they gave up. And we're like, stills of these characters put together, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man symbol. Yada yada.
Like, honestly, you don't even notice that's a Spider-Man signal unless you really think about it.
Sure. After Spider-Man,
Black Widow.
Yeah, okay. I like this poster that they have here.
I like how prominent she is.
I like the actual Widow design, the little...
Yes. Like, that's the one thing I'll actually get this movie. Like, the designs for the movie were, especially in comparison to the face of the movie, were pretty good.
Yeah, Natasha is very prominent in this poster. She's the central character. The others, they all blend in the red, as they should.
It's like, because, you know, them always having had the floating faces, like, they almost are, like, so in the background that, like, you don't have to notice them in the background. And it works.
And it works. It's just a shame that, again, the movie came out way too late.
Not just the movie came out way too late. It's a bad movie. It's really sad how bad this movie is.
Mm-hmm.
I legitimately so sad about it.
Yeah. Then we get Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, which poster did they use?
I don't like this one.
When they released the teaser poster, there was a heavier red emphasis.
Yeah, there's another poster that's just Shang-Chi's character surrounded by red. That fits the character more than this being drowned in blue.
Yeah.
Like, the red doesn't pop out. It's drowned. It really doesn't. Looks bad. It sucks the life out of the poster. It sucks the life out of the film.
There is an aspect where the poster kind of spoiled the end about, you know, Shang-Chi using the rings against his father.
Correct.
So, like, when he uses the rings, there's a different hue. So I guess maybe that's why they wanted to go for the more blue tone, but I still wish, like, his red suit would have popped out more.
Yeah. So the other one, when it's just him covered in red, that's a great poster.
Yeah. Yeah. I also don't like the Disney Plus poster they use. when it's just like his face kind of just like looking off, like it just like, what is that?
Mhm.
Yeah, like it. Just because I was so spoiled by the red poster, the red teaser poster that they first released, I had a hard time accepting this poster.
Right, yeah.
Like if we just got this poster, I would probably be okay with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I really can't.
Yeah. Next we have Eternals, which
Which
it's just them on sand looking up into the sky, doled out by the lack of color.
it's interesting because with this movie in promotion, they couldn't really give a lot away. They couldn't really give the plot away, because if they did, then there's no point in watching the movie. So, and it's also interesting how they didn't necessarily like do the floating heads for most of the posters for this cycle. Um, but I guess like this poster is exactly what the movie was. A lot of people.
Right, but there's nothing here that really pops out. If you were just have this poster surrounded by all of these, this one you'd ignore it completely. You wouldn't even notice it.
I do like the goldish hue to it. That is something that I do feel like kind of stands out a little more in comparison to the other posters.
Again,
but especially there not being like a central face, it's hard to focus on it.
Yeah, it's not the focus. It's kind of drawn out. It's not. It's just dull. Like none of these colors. Like this is a very colorful looking costume designs for all of them.
That is true.
But
also, like if there are too many conflicting colors, then the poster starts to look messy.
Eh. Then we get Spider-Man: No Way Home, which of course is trying to hide so much.
Mm-hmm.
I
really want to see a poster with 3 Spideys.
Yeah, but this one I think does a better job than the other ones.
Yeah, this one's actually pretty decent in the face of the other ones.
Because you get a clear, you could clearly see the Spider-Man. You have Doctor Strange, and you have Doc Ock's tentacles, which tells you, oh, we have other franchises coming in here.
I find it interesting because, like, I think Holland said that their intention was to just promote the movie as a civil war between Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
So we get that vibe. But the fact that we know what this movie is, the posters, it's just like, we just want more from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, especially from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness poster. I want more from this because it's not telling me much. I like the red. I like the dark, scary tone here, but like it's kind of just Doctor Strange and Glass.
But also, like with Doctor Strange, it didn't even have that strong of a story in the first place to really say, let's have a detailed poster. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I felt like that was all the detail they could do.
But you could also just have the different Doctor Stranges here as well. This tells you multiverse having different versions of the same character. It's in the title, might as well.
I mean, it's not a good multiverse movie in the first place, so.
No. And the last poster that we have is Thor: Love and Thunder.
I will say this is probably one of my least favorite posters.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
Really?
I like it because it's unique. It looks like an '80s rock album. It just feels like this thing.
It,
You got multiple colors going on here.
I think it stems from the fact that I never liked the trailers in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was never necessarily on board with the visual palette. And so, like, this visual palette, the color palette is just so strange to me. And I don't even know what's up with Portman's face. You know? It's like looking up too high while looking down, a little weird, you know?
Yeah.
I kind of wish maybe Gore had a better presence on the poster.
Sure.
Because that side of the poster is pretty empty.
But yeah, just to compare it to all the other Thor posters, like this and Ragnarok, they both show style, and that's what I appreciate. They're sticking to a style with the design.
That is true. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
Sure. And that's the posters.
I know it's not on this list, but I do like the teaser poster for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. However, I do feel like that would have been a better teaser poster for the first Black Panther movie.
Mm-hmm. Let me see this. Teaser poster with just what?
The mask, essentially.
Oh yeah, that would be good for the first one as well.
Yeah. So I think the first one was just him like sitting on his throne or something, which felt very similar to like the Doctor Strange teaser poster, I think.
Sure.
Or one Doctor Strange poster, I forget. Anyways, like this one, like if this was of the first Black Panther movie, I think would have been so cool. But I don't know what else they could have done off the top of my head.
Yeah, I guess like here
weird.
they're going off the range of Chadwick Boseman's passing, so they want to have that. You have this Black Panther, but it's empty because we don't have our Black Panther.
Yeah.
I get the symbolism, but still, I would have probably had something to do a little bit more with Namor in this.
Yeah.
But it's just a teaser, so.
It just be a teaser.
Yep. So that's all the posters. In general, what do you think of all these posters?
I've relatively just accepted them as is. You know, I've I have a few thoughts on a few of them, but at the same time, like I'm a little more focused on like the movies themselves. But you know, at the end of the day, a poster is what may attract you to a movie. But the weird thing with Marvel is the fact that because they are their name brand for the most part, either you're going in to watch a Marvel movie or you're going to see a movie with your favorite character in it, or you're not going to see it at all. And so it's almost like they could kind of care less what the posters could look like because they know the general target audience. So to some degree, it would be nice if some posters had more creative color schemes, which half of them do, or maybe different like general designs, like a few of them do. But I will say though, leading up to No Way Home, didn't like most any of the posters, so that was a little weird. Going into a movie that I was highly anticipating, but couldn't jive with any of the posters.
Right.
So I'm relatively. I mean, there's definitely a few posters that I like, and like it would be cool to collect a handful of the posters and to hang around because of the detail, of the color, of the people on them. Some of them are kind of cool. Like it would be cool to have an Infinity War poster, right? Just look at it and you see like all these people just like that. That's crazy. But at the same time, you know.
Yep.
What about you, John? What about you?
They're just fine. I've said what I said. I don't have much else to say about them.
So what I find kind of interesting is that with the Disney Plus posters that shows, which we're not going over right now, but like at the beginning we have like a general like poster, say like Hawkeye, like we had a pretty cool like teaser poster for that, and then at the end of the show they released a floating head collage poster, which I found interesting. I feel like they've done that. They did that for Moon Knight. Handful of these shows I just find interesting.
I like the Miss Marvel poster of her sitting on the lamp.
Me too.
But like that doesn't really match the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. Anyway, do we have much else to talk about for this episode?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. In that case, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.